Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. I've got some game-changing news for all the Washington Commanders fans out there. The NFL is buzzing, and a blockbuster trade has just been announced that could shake up the entire NFC East. We're talking about the Commanders making a bold move to bolster their receiver core, and the implications are huge. Yes, I'm talking about the Washington Commanders trading for none other than Davante Adams. That's right, the star wide receiver, the guy who's been one of the best at his position for years, could soon be donning the burgundy and gold. And you might be asking, why Davante Adams? Why now? Well, let me break down what this means, what it took to get here, and what it could mean for the team moving forward. First, let's set the stage. The Washington Commanders, entering their second season with Jayden Daniels at quarterback, are at a pivotal point. Last season, they showed flashes of potential, but they also faced some clear gaps, especially at the wide receiver position. And that's where the story begins. You see, the team had been hoping to make a move to extend Terry McLaurin's contract, a player who's been a cornerstone of their offense. But negotiations dragged on, and as often happens in the NFL, when deals aren't finalized, players start to think about their future elsewhere. That's exactly what happened with McLaurin. He looked around, saw the team's hesitation, and requested a trade. It's never easy for a fanbase to see a player of his caliber, someone who's been so loyal and productive, wanting out. But it's a reality that NFL teams face all the time. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions. Now the Commanders are faced with a dilemma. They need to replenish their receiving core, especially with McLaurin's departure looming. And that's where the trade for Davante Adams comes into play. Adams, for those who might not be fully aware, is a proven elite receiver. His route running, hands, and ability to make contested catches are second to none. Over the years, he's been a primary target for quarterbacks, a guy who can change the course of a game with a single play. Bringing him into a team with Jayden Daniels, a young quarterback eager to develop, could be exactly what they need to elevate the offense to the next level. But the trade isn't just about adding talent, it's also a strategic move. The Rams, who currently hold Adams' rights, are in a bit of a tricky spot. I mean, everyone remembers how they started this offseason wanting to beef up their receiving options after releasing Cooper Kupp. They brought in Adams to be their top target alongside Puka Nacua, a promising young receiver who's been turning heads. However, things took a turn when Matthew Stafford, their veteran quarterback, started dealing with back soreness early in training camp. If Stafford's injury lingers into the season, the Rams' chances of competing for a playoff spot take a hit. And if they're not in a position to contend, it makes sense for them to consider trading some of their assets, including Adams, to rebuild or to draft a future franchise quarterback like Arch Manning. Now, think about the implications here. If the Rams decide to move Adams, they will be looking for draft capital, picks that can help them rebuild or position themselves for a future star. Meanwhile, the Commanders, with their young and talented roster, would be the perfect destination. Adams, with his experience and skill set, would thrive in Washington. His ability to work the top of the curl and comeback routes, transitioning into over-the-ball OTB routes, makes him an ideal target for Jayden Daniels. His route running, combined with his play style, would give the Commanders a true game-changer on offense. And let's not forget, with Deebo Samuel also in the mix, Adams would give the team a legitimate top-tier receiving duo that could really open up the offense. Now, it's important to highlight that this move isn't just about adding a star. It's about what it signals for the team's future. The Commanders are clearly trying to make a statement. They want to contend, and they're willing to go all in to do so. Trading for Adams would show that they're serious about competing now, especially with a young quarterback like Daniels developing. It's a move that could pay dividends, not just in the short term, but in establishing a winning culture that could last for years. Of course, there are some questions and risks involved. Will the Rams actually trade Adams? Will they get enough draft capital in return? And how will Adams adapt to a new team and system? These are questions only time will answer. But the fact remains, this trade, if it happens, could be a game changer for the NFC East. It could shift the balance of power, making the Commanders a team to watch in the coming season. And for fans, it's exciting to think about how this new weapon could help Jaden Daniels unlock his full potential and take the team to new heights. Looking at the bigger picture, the NFL landscape is always shifting, and moves like this remind us how dynamic the league really is. The Rams, in a way, are at a crossroads. If Stafford's back issues persist, they might be forced to make tough choices, either to rebuild around a new quarterback or to trade their star receiver for the future. On the other hand, the Commanders are showing a clear intent to compete now, to surround their young QB with proven playmakers, and to do what it takes to win. And let me tell you, the fanbase is buzzing with anticipation. The idea of seeing Davante Adams in the burgundy and gold, it's a tantalizing thought. It changes the offensive dynamics completely. Imagine the defense having to account for Adams, route running, and reliable hands, freeing up opportunities for other players to make plays. It's the kind of move that can energize not just the team but the entire fanbase, giving them hope for a playoff push and maybe even a deep run into the postseason. So, what's next? Well, we're all waiting to see if this trade becomes official. The negotiations are surely ongoing, and until then, fans should stay tuned for any updates. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and this one has the potential to be one of the biggest stories of the year. The Commanders are making moves, and whether it's for Adams or someone else, they're signaling their intention to be serious contenders. As we look ahead to the season, it's clear that Washington is not just sitting back, they're actively shaping their roster to compete with the best. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Are you excited about the idea of Davante Adams joining the team? Do you think it's the missing piece to finally get the Commanders back into playoff contention and maybe even push for Super Bowl? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and all the latest Washington Commanders news. So make sure to stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's keep this passion alive. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come. Remember, the NFL is unpredictable, and that's what makes it so exciting. The Commanders are on the verge of making a bold statement, and whether this trade goes through or not, one thing is for sure, the NFC East is about to get even more interesting. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next video.